Hey guys, Robert Leonard here, PDJ number 21676. As some of you guys saw on Facebook today, I am now a member of Team Discraft. Very excited about that. And I just wanted to make a quick video to kind of show what I was throwing and to quickly talk about what this is going to mean for North Carolina Disc Golf as the North Carolina State Coordinator and also as a tournament director for a couple of events. First of all, I'm on the ambassador team, so my role really is to help promote the product in the area. Definitely not signed for my ability. I'm not going to hide that. Yeah, so that's going to involve Discraft in my events, Discraft in my player packages, things like that. Other concerns that you guys might have, especially if you've played the Midtown Chiropractic Raleigh Disc Golf Championship, which I'm proudly wearing the shirt of, this sponsorship's not going to change. Dr. Brett Hightower with Midtown Chiropractic is still going to be our main sponsor. He's still going to commit what he has always committed. He is totally on board. He's aware of this addition, and he is excited to have some Midtown stamped Discraft stuff. Spike Heiser, Chuck Connolly knows what's going on. Chuck's always provided my payout. Chuck's on board with everything. So the good thing is these sponsorships are going to still continue as these guys see fit. And it's just, what does that mean for you? That means more stuff, because now we've got Discraft involved as well. That just adds on more help. Let's just be honest. I've been an Innova thrower for 20 years. I live in central North Carolina. Innova's in Rock Hill. It just made the most sense. Some of my best friends, Brian Schweberger, is Innova. Brian McCree's Innova. Walter Haney was Innova forever. Larry Leonard was Innova forever. Even current Discraft team member Justin Jernigan and Michael Johansson were Innova players. Carlton Howard's a legend in this area. Innova. Barry Schultz, Innova. David Wiggins Jr., Innova. So all of that combined is exactly why I've always thrown Innova. It just made sense. So what I'm trying to do is really kind of break that mold, really introduce people to what I have been introduced to over the last couple months, is how amazing the plastic that Discraft makes. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, it is the absolute truth. So let's talk about what I'm throwing. So how does a guy who's been throwing Discraft for 20 years, throwing Innova for 20 years, all of a sudden flip? Well, thanks to Discraft and their amazing stuff, it really has not been nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. Z Predator, S-curves, thumbers, shorter hyzers, wind, phenomenal disc. In terms of overstable, it doesn't get much better than that in terms of speed. I love this disc. A Discraft disc that I've been throwing a long time is the Z Crush. I've got these older ones. Love the way they feel. S-curves. That's my primary hyzer disc. I love this thing, especially on field holes between 280 and 350 feet. A disc that I've really enjoyed throwing a lot recently is the Crank. Love the Crank. Throwing a lot of shots with this. My Z Crank. I throw with a lot of hyzer. I've always thrown with a lot of hyzer, and I don't have the snap of the arm speed that a lot of people have. So because of that, stuff is usually a little more stable for me than it is for other people. So this is like my long crush. Other people are not going to find it as to be that stable, but when I can't quite get there with a crush, but I need dependable hyzer, I'm throwing the Z Crank. I'm also throwing sidearm for this disc. The big Z Crank has a little different feel, a little different plastic. It's kind of a blend between their ESP and their Z. I like that. This is my primary hyzer disc in a field, for my distance hyzer disc, I should say. This disc is a little faster. It's going to go a little further than the regular Z Crank. So what I like about this is I can throw this really far and always have it hyzer out. So this is going to be like my distance hyzer disc, so to speak. The Nuke SS is my, what I'm going to call my safe distance disc. This is the disc where I'm trying to throw it as far as I absolutely can, but I need to have a dependable hyzer. You know, it's going to flip over, but I need it to come out right at the end. I really like this disc for that. I've been experimenting with the ESP crank, and I think I might end up throwing the ESP crank instead of this. Not because I like this better, just to kind of keep it within the keep the molds, reduce my molds. But you know, the ESP stuff in general is a little tad flippier, which makes them a little faster in my opinion, or maybe they're just a little faster as well. But the ESP crank, and that's a general rule of thumb. Let's say you love the Nuke, and you just said, man, if this thing was a little faster, it'd be perfect. The ESP Nuke's going to be. Same thing with Z Avenger, Z Wasp, I mean, across the board. Good stuff. The disc that I've absolutely loved the most with Discraft has been the Heat. Now you'll see here, that says prototype. Prototype means new, limited run, all that mess. And eventually it means that it's expensive. Well, guess what? With discraft, you have the consistency where it doesn't matter if this is just your standard stock stamp heat or if it's a prototype heat. So why am I throwing the prototype heat? Because it's the first one I got. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's prototype. And that's really the best thing that I found with discraft as a whole is their consistency. And, you know, if you love the prototype heat and you just love the way, you know, and you don't care what the stamp looks like, you just love the heat, and all of a sudden in 2 years you don't have to worry about the heat being different. You don't have to worry about that with discraft. That's the best thing, is you don't have to start paying $60 and $70 because you love the way the prototype heat feels. Because it doesn't matter. They're all going to fly the same way. So I'm going to show you this. That rim is so small. I mean, look at how small that rim is. That's a speed 13 disc. I have never seen a disc this fast with that small of a rim. I love smaller rim disc. I'm throwing so far with this. This is pure distance, long turnovers. I'm throwing some of the longest turnovers I've ever thrown in my life with this thing. I parked a 440-foot uphill hole a couple weeks ago with this. I love this for any kind of distance shot uphill turnover. Can't speak enough about the heat. I'm also throwing the ESP Flash. It's a good woods disc, kind of a longer XL. Really like the way this flies. I can throw it hard and it'll go straight. I can throw sweep hyzers where I needed to hyzer the whole time. I love that. And I'm also got another one. This is much older. This is my roller disc, my distance roller. I'm rolling this a good 500 feet at times. Ask Michael Johansson next time you see him. He saw me roll this at Eastway with him, and I threw one of the longest rollers of my life with this ESP Flash. My fairway drivers are all XLs, not XLs. This isn't Microsoft. The XL. You know, I haven't really talked a lot about what I threw with Innova. I'll be straightforward. I absolutely love the CE Leopard. I was obsessed with the CE Leopard, but with that obsession came a pretty hefty chunk of my wallet. $60 to $70 for used ones. Every now and then would get them for $40 used. This disc, I don't know why I didn't do this 5 years, 10 years ago, 20 years. I don't know why. This disc, the ZXL, flies exactly the same. I love it. I can throw all of my fairway driver shots with this. And guess what, folks? 15 bucks. You can't beat that. So I carry 3 of them, 3 different stages of them. I've got a newer one, a slightly beat, and a really old beat one from a good friend of mine, Leonard. I throw just all my fairway shots. Long, straight to slow hyzer. This is my straight one, and when I throw it hard, it turns over. And this is my hyzer flip one. I'm also throwing the X Express. More of a utility disc. I don't throw it very much. When I can't quite reach it with a mid-range, but it's just a little shorter, maybe about a 330 turnover. Very rare. My main thing about this is going to be my golf, what I call my golf roller shot, the 350 to 400 foot field roller, where the basket's over on the right, and it's just easier. I throw a lot of rollers. I love the X Express for that roller. Now we're getting into my mid-range. The Buzz OS is my overstable mid-range disc. I really like this because of how fast it is. It's fantastic in the wind. It always fights back. I've always loved the feel of the Buzz. I've always thrown the Buzz. And here I have a Buzz that is overstable. It's just an absolutely brilliant disc that they came up with. Amazing in the wind, and just so fast. The Z Wasp is going to be one of my hyzer discs. I carry actually 4 Wasps. I've been throwing these for a long time. The Z Wasp is a little more stable. I like that in the wind. I've got an X Wasp, which is a little faster because it's a little less stable. Where this is going to be a little less hyzer, but maybe a little further as well. I've also got a very old D Wasp that I've been throwing for years. This is going to be a hyzer flip woods disc. I've always loved the Buzz. Can't speak enough about the Buzz. These 2 Buzzes have been in my bag forever. The ESP Buzz is a good woods hyzer disc. Throw it with turn. It holds the line. And an old X Buzz. You can see I've been throwing it for a long time here. The X Buzz is my straight disc. Goes dead straight. If I throw it hard, it slow turns. Absolutely love this X Buzz. And I've really come to really like the D Buzz for more of a utility disc, for basically a longer putter for me. Goes straight, throw it hard, it turns slow. Really like the ESP Meteor. Justin Jerningan turned me on to these about 6 months ago. I can throw everything with this. I can throw it hard and it slow turns. I can throw it with turn and it holds it. I can throw it high and it holds and it just eventually just fades out. I can throw it straight, everything. Also like the X Stratus for a Woods hyzer flip disc, and also for a shorter golf roller. But I'm throwing a lot of hyzer flip wood shots, a lot of uphill turnovers where it's really hard to get it to turn that long. Love the Stratus. Also carrying some D Challengers for my hyzer putters. I've always been a big putter thrower, always thrown a lot of putters. So I like I got these 2 D Challengers. I really like these for my hyzer putter shots. I'm also throwing the D Soft Magnet. This one right here I want to show in particular. That's an ace, folks. Already got an ace with a magnet back on December 23rd. But they go straight. I got a newer one that goes straight. I've got some older ones that turn over. And I've got a super beat one, courtesy of my good friend Jeff Kozak. That is my hyzer flip putter. So that's all my throwers. Now we're just into my putters. I carry 2. One's just a backup. But I'm putting with the APX. These old Elite Pro APXs. This is probably one of the only things that I'm being a little specific about. I've never liked putters with beads. I've always used a flippier beadless putter. So this feels right in my hand. And I am going to try to experiment with the X Soft APXs because those are in production currently. But either way, I love the APX. So I'm looking forward to 2015. I appreciate you watching this. Any questions, please email me. Call me, text me, right on my wall. I'm very excited about what's going to happen for North Carolina Disc Golf in 2015. Very excited to be repping Discraft, and thanks a lot.